Hello and welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. I'm delighted to be joined by the main man from Redmen TV, Paul Machin, ahead of their upcoming tour in Ireland. Paul, how are you? And tell us what's going on, why you guys are coming over here.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, things are going pretty well in the world of Liverpool at the moment. So we thought we'd come and share a bit of the love over in Ireland as well. So yeah, we're coming to Dublin this Wednesday night at the Ambassador, and then Friday we're in Cork as well. So yeah, we're bringing Mark Kenny, the musician, over with us. Got some fun and games planned, a few laughs. Basically, a sizable chunk taking the mick out of football players and football teams that we don't like very much. I'm sure the Manx won't get by unscathed from that. Always good fun to see them struggling. And yeah, we came last year and did Dublin and Belfast, and it was an absolute belter. So we thought we'd come back again.
And how are these events? Obviously, when you've been here before, what's the reception like? And are you getting people from all over Ireland coming to the location that you are?
You know what? The feedback's been absolutely amazing on them, to be honest. And I'm still kind of, I mean, 15 years I've been doing this now, covering Liverpool on YouTube and beyond, and I'm still stunned that people watch it and the people get involved with it. So yeah, the idea of going to listen, another country, and having hundreds of people turn up to see it is amazing. And yeah, I think one of the reasons why we wanted to go to Cork was just we missed out on that last year. It was a hole in the itinerary, basically. And we had loads of people saying, "Oh, come on, can you not come to Cork?" Like, yeah, go on, we'll make sure we do this time around. So yeah, yeah, I am. I'm buzzing for it, mate.
Yeah, well, obviously large chunk of the Liverpool fan base would be living over in Ireland. So anyone who's watching this, make sure check out the lads, whether you're in Dublin or whether you're in Cork on Friday as well. Make sure to get down. But Paul, obviously you mentioned there, 15 years we've been doing this. You've seen the highs, the lows of Liverpool in that time. But talk to me about kind of, I suppose, the rise of your channel and the rise of Liverpool to, I suppose, this season. Now you must be enjoying that.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. It's easy to forget, I think, because times have been pretty good over the last sort of, well, going back to Jurgen Klopp getting the job, really. But when we started on YouTube, so we launched the channel basically 15 years ago this week, and that was Rafa Benitez's last season in charge. In the summer, he got sacked, and they brought Roy Hodgson in. So yeah, I had the first full season of us making brand new content. The first half of that season up till the January, Roy Hodgson was Liverpool manager. So whenever things go well, I can't help but feel that we've we deserve it to go okay. Yeah, so yeah, it's been a funny old ride, really. And yeah, being able to see some amazing, I've been to three Champions League finals covering Liverpool in this time, which, when I went to Kiev in 2018, was just unbelievable to think that you could even be there. I'd have gone to a Champions League final just to go to a Champions League final, but the idea of being able to go and watch your own football team is just something else. Yeah, it's been a mad old ride from just being in the back bedroom of, editing my own face on a computer screen for 15 hours a day, to yeah, being in studios and traveling the world and doing live shows. It's amazing.
Yeah, but even like the studio, the way you've kind of ramped that up, it looks the part I've obviously been in. I was in behind enemy lines there the other week with Chris and that to have a look, but the setup's unbelievable. Um, as well as that, though, you've obviously encountered some of the best players and managers. Like, do you want to tell people like some of maybe the interviews that if they may not know that you've done?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we ended up developing a really good relationship with Jurgen Klopp, which was stunning, to be perfectly honest, because I said gone through a time where no one knew who we were, and Roy Hodgson didn't even care about Liverpool fans in general, let alone ones who wanted to put themselves on YouTube. And then through Kenny and Brendan Rodgers was okay with us. But then Jurgen just came in and just embraced it. So yeah, I'm lucky enough to sit down a few times with Jurgen. Lucky enough to be able to have a bevy with him at the Managers Awards after he won the Champions League, which was immense. He just came over and just started gabbing with us about random stuff, which was just immense. And yeah, there's not loads and loads of times where that kind of stuff kind of comes. You get those opportunities, but yeah, basically anyone worth the salt in terms of like the manager's job over the last 20 years or whatever, I've been able to interview. Done some bits and pieces with like Virgil van Dijk and Curtis Jones and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's weird. It feels weirdly boastful talking about it. Yeah, it's just been amazing, mate. Yeah, it's been really good.
Yeah, no, even as an Everton fan, I've seen some of the stuff. Like it is very good. So there's a non-biased viewpoint from me there. But no, like any Liverpool fan, make sure, and you have a subscription as well. How does that work? Just if anyone doesn't know as well.
Yeah, so we've got redmenplus.com, which is sort of our somewhere in between. Like, I think people are familiar with the idea of Patreon to support podcast and creators or whatever, but also it's a bit more geared towards a sort of like Netflix type model where we have documentaries and extra interviews and bonus features and stuff like that. There's an app coming later on this year, finally. So yeah, the idea of obviously there's a paywall there that supports everything we do, but we don't just ask for something for nothing. We try to give people as much entertainment for that as humanly possible. So yes, really, really cool stuff on there at the minute.
Yeah, well, you know you're going to be in Cork on Friday, so talk to me about a Cork man who's been doing brilliantly for you guys as a number 2 for I don't know how many years. I've been talking. I know we did a video previously, I think back in like 2018. And the same old question seems to pop up, like what is next for him? Like where does he go? Or what's been your legacy of Caoimhin and your I suppose your best memories of him while he's been at Liverpool? It looks like he's going to go. I don't know whether you can confirm or deny that, but it does look that way.
Oh, it certainly does look that way. I look, while he still remains a Liverpool player, all things exist in possibility. I mean, I wonder whether I think the only world in which he stays a Liverpool player is if Alisson Becker decides it's time to move on. Liverpool have already signed Mamardashvili from Valencia to come in the summer. It looks like it'll be him and Alisson sort of duking it out over the next year for the number 1 spot, and then maybe Alisson. I think he's maybe got a year left on his contract, so he'll or a year or two, and he'll move on eventually. But I think Queeve's amazing. I think he's so good. He is without a doubt the best backup goalie in the Premier League, in my opinion. And I think he would be the starting goalie conservatively, probably. I'd say 14 at the top of the teams in the Premier League, and I don't think there's a great deal between him and most of the goalies of those other clubs, if I'm honest. I think the best goalies in the league are Alisson and Ederson, and everyone else has got their own issues and faults, and everyone has their own, like problems with their goalie at various stages. Yeah, I think he's terrific. I think he's a cool lad. I think he's brilliant with both feet, and the fact that he's been able to help us to secure a couple of League Cups as well means his legacy as a Liverpool goalie is secured. I was speaking to Liverpool's former goalkeeper coach John Achterberg. I went in to interview him at the AXA Training Centre just after we won the first of those Carabao Cups, the mad penalty shootout one, where Queeve actually scored the penalty as well. And they've got a mural there at the training centre of all the goalkeepers at Liverpool who've won a piece of silverware, and they made a point that literally the next day of getting the artist John Culshaw in to come in and paint Queeve's face in there, because that's how important it was to make sure that his legacy as part of that great sort of goalkeeping culture at Liverpool was established. Really, I'd be sad to see him go. I thought timing might have worked out that because Alisson is coming toward the end of his career, you'd imagine that maybe the time would have been right for Kelleher to kind of step up. Doesn't look like that's happened, and I think he's probably now at that point, which happens to all goalies, where he just needs to go and play 50 games a season somewhere and find out whether he is really of that level or not. Liverpool aren't prepared clearly to gamble on him. So yeah, what's next for him? I'm not really sure. I hope he gets a good move because he deserves it.
Yeah, and just what are your kind of favourite memories of him? And I suppose this season he's played a big part in, if you're obviously going to win the league now in a couple of weeks, but he's played a big part in that, filling in for Alisson, obviously, when he hasn't been there, a large part, other than the Newcastle game where they got the last minute goal.
Yeah, look, and every goalie has bad games. And the problem with being the last line of defence is it only takes one little moment and you're the villain of the entire football match. And I don't even think it was all of that, to be perfectly honest. That Newcastle one, I've seen goalies, supposedly better goalies at the time, considered, make much bigger and more consistent worse mistakes than what Kelleher did this season. What he's done there is, yeah, he's been able to come in, and when you say like a capable deputy, more than capable. There were games where you're thinking, you know, when Alisson's back now, just keep Kelleher in goal. This is his chance now. I think you know, a lot of people were thinking that maybe he'd taken it. Best memories wise, I mentioned it before. It's worth saying again, that Carabao Cup final against Chelsea. Just brilliant. There's some saves in there where we could have been dead and buried in that game if not for him. And even that thing, cool, because he's just the coolest cat going. You know, stepping up to take a pen as well. When you consider what happened on the flip reverse, Chelsea bring Kepa on as this penalty expert. Not only does he not save any penalties, he then misses one as well. So yeah, it was, yeah, that for me is a true hero moment in a football club that's, you know, has got so many hero moments. Yeah, that is a really, really good one.
Yeah, I think when he's really started to be, you just talk about that run where you were almost saying for him to come in for Alisson, he obviously saved the penalty from Mbappe against Real Madrid as well.
Yeah, but I mean, just such a goal, and he's amazing in penalty shootouts as well. You know, that one's probably a bad example because of how many excellent penalties there were in that final. But yeah, I was a little concerned for a while that he wasn't enough of a shot stopper. I think he's excellent with his feet. I think he's got the right temperament to be a pass it out from the back goalie under pressure as well. But I was concerned that he wasn't keeping enough stuff out. And in the last 12 months, he's totally put that to bed. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's going to have been his longest road, and now he's obviously Ireland #1 as well. But hopefully he gets a move. You'll be hoping, obviously, you get a nice fee for him as well. So it's a win-win for everybody, and he can leave the club as, you know, as high as possible, having won the league essentially, and he'll feel a bit more deserving of the medal this time around because he's played his part, I'd say, in a lot more games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, listen, Paul, enjoy the show. Enjoy the trip over to Ireland and Dublin and Cork. I might see you around town or something tomorrow. But for anyone who is interested, we leave a link where you can buy tickets in the description, and make sure to follow the Redmen TV on all their socials as well. Thanks very much, Paul. And yeah, cheers.
Thanks.